the Serena's behavior, like I said, it's irritating the hell out of me. And I really I kind of hope. Like I said, I really do hope they get Louis and his obnoxious family and that ridiculous dowry storyline wrapped up yesterday. It would be too late for my taste. So Dan and Blair could possibly have a romantic relationship. I'd like that to happen instead of, oh, Louis and his family and the prenup issue is all taken care of now, so Chuck and Blair can get back together. I really, since they've spent so much time developing Dan and Blair's friendship and focusing on the fact that Dan has feelings for Blair now, I hope they do explore a relationship and they just don't think, oh, well, Blair can be with Chuck now, so let's do that. And because that would just make everything they've done with Dan absolutely pointless. So, yeah, I really do hope they wrap up the Louis storyline soon. And, I don't have much else to say about the episode other than Georgina. She was a lot of fun to watch. She was, another one of the fun things about this episode that, kind of lessened all the frustrating aspects that this episode had, and this episode had a lot of frustrating things for me. It's interesting, I'm glad that she didn't oust, send that kiss, post it on Gossip Girl and ruin Blair's, family's financial, situation, because that would make her rather heartless. And so, again, she's a character that constantly does bad things, but in that moment, she's had moments too where I think she's humanized by the writers and not sending that picture or posting it on Gossip Girl of Jane and Blair kissing. I'm glad she didn't, and it, like I said, I think it humanized the characters, and I'm just so happy that Dan and Blair finally kissed, and that Dan he finally told Blair that she's the one he wants to be with, not Serena. It was great that he finally told her that. Now it's just a matter of getting Louis and that whole dowry thing wrapped up, and I'm anxious to see where the whole Georgina thing goes. Obviously, they've established she's not really Gossip Girl. She's just taking her place ever since Gossip Girl just kind of abandoned her post after Chuck and Blair's car accident in Nate's limo. And it'll be interesting to see if they're going to reveal who the actual Gossip Girl is this season. I don't really want them to, but, somehow they gotta acknowledge the fact that, Georgina isn't the real Gossip Girl and the real one will come back. We don't know that. It's another interesting thing that I can't wait to see play out. But, yeah, all in all, this was a good episode. It had a lot of frustrating parts. Serena pissed me off with how immature she's being about Dan, not having, feelings for her anymore. She needs to get over that. And sadly, Serena she has major issues with narcissism, in my opinion. And this episode ended with Chuck really taking me off with sleeping with Dan's agent, and the whole royal minder thing that Blair had this royal minder following her around, kind of like a bodyguard, to make sure she didn't violate the prenup, or basically I think is what that was all supposed to be about. It sounds like she's secretly in love with Louis because they showed her covering Blair's half of the photo in their wedding pictures. So that'll be interesting to see if she proves to be a sinister character. But yeah, the upside for me was all the Dan and Blair scenes. They're always great this season. It's great that we finally got a kiss and that he finally made his feelings known to her, even if they can't be together. And that whole Ivy Charlie storyline, especially the twist that they've actually met each other before. And it was interesting to see that Charlie's mother, Carol, thought that they looked like each other, that they could be sisters. I don't know if I agree with that, but, it's TV. They're not genetically related, so you gotta just suspend your disbelief, which on Gossip Girl, you just kind of have to pretend that disbelief is almost non-existent, because this is like a fantasy world. But yeah, if I had to give this episode a rating, I'm going to give it a B, because it had some good moments, but Chuck and Serena just really irritated the hell out of me. But the good twists and, Dan and Blair stuff and Ivy coming back, that was good. And so it was more than an average episode, but not by much. So yeah, I would definitely give this episode a rating of a B. And for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, my web address is www.therandomthoughtsofawriter.blogspot.com. I'll put that in the information box on the YouTube video, and then my Tumblr page is therandomthoughtsofawriter.tumblr.com. I'll put that in the information box as well. And once again, I'd like to thank all my readers for looking at my blog, and I hope you enjoy reading the news articles about various TV shows I post, and that you enjoy looking at the clips from TV shows like Revenge. That's my new favorite show this year, and the promos that I get from YouTube. I really do want to start commenting on Revenge. I love that show. And that'll be my next show I'll do a commentary for, is tonight's episode of Revenge. It's a big one, but yeah, once again I want to thank all my readers, and I wouldn't, my blog wouldn't be as successful it is without you, the people who read it. So this is Taylor Madison Street wishing you a good evening.